I'll send you guys the winners who don't get the Mad Jerky. I'm going to send you a care packet of SHOT Show patches. So if you put your answers on the side chat with a hashtag, and you'll be automatically entered into the contest. Okay. Let's move on here. Let's get into the new videos. But before we do that, let me bring on to stage one of our guests, and that is Ian. Ian, how are you, buddy?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
Very good. Very good. Let me just bring you up on screen here. So for those
Hey.
of you who don't know, Ian is one of my crew, my SHOT Show crew, production crew. I bring out a bunch of friends and a bunch of guys out to SHOT Show to help me film my booth videos. And Ian has also been my co-producer for many years, many a dog's age over in New York, helping me produce my airsoft event. And now he's taken that over, Operation Bad Blood, and he also runs his own production, LARP production company, Anchor and Star Productions, in New York, as well as he works for the federal government. So, but he's one of the good guys.
I try. In my own defense, I'm a subcontractor, so I'm not universally hated, just mostly hated.
Yes, and so but Ian's going to be joining me to talk about our plans, and I'm going to be walking through some of the booths and brands that we're going to be visiting at SHOT Show. Also, in this way, giving him a little heads up as to who we're going to be seeing, and we'll talk a little bit about his experiences, both good and painful.
Yeah, we'll get to that
at SHOT Show. We'll get that in a bit. Let's get into the videos so we can get into the good part of the show. All right. So for this week, I posted on my 2A channel, I posted a review of this new red dot from Osight. And for those of you who don't know, Osight is a offshoot company from Olight. From what I understand, they started off, and I could be correct. You could correct me on this. For those of you who know a little bit more of the story, I'm going to be talking to the founder of Osight when we get to SHOT Show. But I heard, this is again scuttlebutt, that it was actually a separate company. They sort of bought it, or brought them into Olight, and they provide, I guess, the production know-how to produce these things. But so good or ill, they're closely associated with Olight, and so I know Olight is a company a lot of people are fanboys and also hate boys of that company, because as soon as I posted this up, it was some of the comments I got, positive as well, but also negative, were like, oh, sarcastically, I'm sure this will work just as well as their flashlights. And so I have had one problem with one of their EDCs, and it was a battery charging issue. And to their this is with the Olight, by the way, and they customer service, and they handled it like within the week. They sent me a brand new one. They didn't even ask me to send the old one back, as long as I showed them I took a video, sent a link to them, and they saw that what the issue was. It wouldn't turn on, it wouldn't charge. So yeah, they took care of me real fast. Now they sell a ton of EDC flashlights because they're relatively inexpensive, and for the time, they were known for providing like insane amounts of lumens for the price. So a ton of people bought them. So I'm sure you're going to get even like 1% out of a million is what is it? 10,000?
Oh, don't ask me math. I'm not like that.
Yeah,
that's about right.
Yeah, it's 10,000. So yeah, if you're going to be selling 1 million units, you're going to get 10,000 fails at a 1% rate. So yeah, sure, there's going to be a lot of people who've gotten ones that failed. So that's my thought on it anyway.
But on the other side of that coin, you still got over 900,000 people who are satisfied.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's 10,000 lemons, 990,000 successes.
Yeah, and the important thing is how do they treat you after that if you have a problem?
Right.
And I mean, it's like Vortex. Everybody loves Vortex until, and even people who have problems with Vortex because they have great customer service. So, but yeah, but there's also plenty of people who hate Vortex too. So
Yeah,
what are you
I
gonna do?
mean, in any business, nobody is going to like everything,
Yeah,
and nobody is going to like everybody.
this is true.
So you're going to find what you like, what works for you in your situation. And I use it too, but I hate the term fanboy.
Hmm.
You like what you like because it works for you. And if it
Absolutely.
doesn't, if the product you like doesn't work, you're going to go with the company who gives you the support to make it work. And that's what's going to keep you loyal to this company, right? So there apparently something's working because they're still out there. The two companies, Olight and Osite, merging together, however they did what they did it for a reason. It's working for them. So great. If you like Osite, Olight, good for you. If you don't, let us know what you like instead, and we'll see what's comparable.
Right.
Does it do the same thing an Olight or an Osite does? Is it
Well,
better? Is it worse?
one of the
That's
things
the point.
that the OSITE and I just put up Tim Mooney's comment there. Are they Irish? Are they the OSITE? Are they Irish? No, they're not.
No, they're
They're
not.
quite Chinese. But and that's, of course, they're going to get a lot of the hate mail just because they're Chinese. But what flashlight out there practically isn't Chinese nowadays? But before I get distracted, so OSITE came out with a unique product straight out of when they launched, I think 2 years ago now, because they were the only rechargeable flashlight that recharged wirelessly, or at least one of the few. I think that their claim to fame was they were the first one out there. I could be wrong about that, but that's what they claim.
How's
But
that supposed to work?
well, the cover of their original Olights, so they came with a hard plastic cover. The cover had had its own internal battery supply, and so you put the cover on it and it charges it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it stays on magnetically, and so you take the cover off, or you put the cover on and it charges, and you can plug in. I mean, it's kind of you're
So, but how do you charge the cover?
with a USB-C.
So it's not truly wireless. You still got to charge the cover, which then charges
Yeah, I mean,
the actual optic.
ultimately, anything that's wireless, even like our phones, you have to plug it into something. You put it in a
Yeah.
cradle or whatever, it's still plugged in somewhere. But the point is that you don't to keep it more waterproof and environment proof. There isn't like a USB-C port or
Oh, I
anything
see
like
what you're
that.
saying.
Yeah,
So for practicality, there's nothing. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can plan ahead to remember to charge the modular part of your device, great.
The
But
And they make it easier though, because the cover has a little LCD diagram that shows how much of a charge it has. So as soon as you place it on there, it shows you how much and the cover has up to 4 charges. Can
what's the battery
recharge.
life on a thing like this?
They claim that it's got over. I could be. I have to look it up again, but I mean,
Okay.
it was a reasonable amount, like 50,000 hours, which is over 5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So like
With
I
Yeah,
was thinking, is this thing gonna last a long weekend,
yeah, well,
or an operation, like
yeah, yeah. Well,
yes.
for sure it will. The question is, oftentimes those measurements are done at like the lowest visible intensity at the smallest dot possible. So yeah, but for actual typical use, you could spend a whole day with it, and
That's
you
awesome.
probably only go through like half the. You have to do a one recharge if at all. So, but a lot of people just didn't like the idea of that because like, oh great, I'm gonna forget, or I'm gonna lose that cover, and now I'm gonna have to buy another cover, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'd like to point out that you don't have to use that cover to recharge it. You could just use, if I have an example of that. So Olight was also one of the first to come out with this little dongle. Let me just bring up myself here. So this is their recharging adapter, USB A, to this magnetic bit here. And So their thing was with a lot of their flashlights is that you snap it on and you charge it. So this is their magnetic charger. You can use this charger for the O-Sight, and this is like their standard charger for a lot of their flashlights. So I've got a couple of these now because of I've got a couple of different models of Olight flashlights. So yeah, you kind of plug into their ecosystem using this hockey puck thing. But it's super, it's convenient enough that you can get those aftermarket, those charging thingies, those charging pucks. So anyway, let me just unsolo me. How do I get my, okay. There we go. All right, we're back. Okay. So long story short, now all the issues that people are saying about the O-Sight. Well, guess what? Let me just bring this on stage. This is a little short on this. This is the O-Sight C from the company that revolutionized the rechargeable micro reflex. But for those of you who just don't like the idea of a red dot that you can't change the battery on, well, that little door on the side there is the battery compartment. Same multi-reticle reflex sight, same RMR footprint as the regular O-Sight, but now with a user replaceable battery. And if you'd like to see me test this O-Sight C, well, hit the like and subscribe button right now, and we'll get started. So there you go. Everybody who who complained about, or not so much a complaint, but the majority of comments were like, "This is great, but put out one that you can just use a regular battery on." And so if they finally did, it took them a year and a half, but or 2 years to release that. Actually, about 2 years to release it, but they finally did back in December, and that is the video I posted of the review on that. Oh, by the way, we have another guest, another crew member. Let me just add him on here. Okay, so I was about to, but I shouldn't. Hopefully he can hear me. We have as our guest Daryl, and I was gonna say his mic's not working, but yeah, it's still saying you need to connect their mic before you can add them to the stream. Okay, so I just got to say, Daryl, your mic isn't activated. So I don't know how to connect your mic. They will need, okay, yeah, it's saying you will need to connect your mic for me to add you as a guest. So, but if you can figure that out, yeah, I will let me kick your other login with the first login, and
yeah, but Daryl's got a good point. He's currently on shift at work, so so it might be difficult for him to get back and forth.
No worries. So Daryl, don't worry about being live or anything like that. Just join the side chat if you're watching this, and you can post comments on the side and answer questions there if that works out any better. Okay, so let's see. Well, yeah, I can't add you onto the screen until you add your mic. So anyway, please post on the side chat. Okay, so that was the O-Sight S, or the O-Sight C, sorry, the O-Sight C. And by the way, the O-Sight C is going to be this month contest, which we'll talk about later. But for those of you who know, I have a monthly contest on my website, and you can win an O-Sight C this month. So, but we'll give you more details at the end of the show. All right, let's move on. Talking about flashlights a little bit with the Olight. This little, where is that? I'm trying to. Okay, I don't have a sample, but you can see the flashlight there in the photo. This is a Wuben G5, and I saw this for the first time. And it's really interesting because the thing is about the size of a Zippo.
I like this
lighter, and that head there turns 180 degrees. So it's really a sort of a clip-on light that lets you function hands-free, or you can clip it onto your hat brim and have a really flexible kind of light. But but here's the thing: it's supposed to be IPX68 rated, which means that it can survive full immersion in water. But I tested it and I didn't do the full submersion because actually I was thinking that it was IPX6, not 68. So I thought it was in my head when I was doing the testing. I thought it was IPX6, so which means that it can't survive full immersion, but it can survive high pressure water jets. So I tested it with a high pressure water jet, and this is what happened. Oh, there we go. Oh, for some reason, fully immersed in water, as well as high pressure water jets. Well, we're going to test it with this high pressure water jet and see if it survives. All right, it's still on, and we're going to see if it'll switch over to RGB mode, and it did. So it passed until it didn't. About an hour later, I noticed moisture inside of the lens, and the unit turned on in blue mode and wouldn't turn off until the battery died, and it wouldn't recharge. So no, it didn't quite pass my high pressure water jet test. So anyway, it didn't pass the power washer, but it will survive rain. And presumably, it will survive being dunked and submerged in water. It has a lot of analog controls, and that's where I love analog controls on flashlights, but that's really the weak point for a lot of designs. It's hard to do analog controls and still have it be completely waterproof.
Yeah,
Unlike,
that's where your water's going to get in. When you've got plastic against metal, you're going to have spacing there, and yeah.
And this charges with unlike, let's say, the Olight, which has that magnetic charger. This one charges with a USB-C port. So there's another ingress point for water. So in any case, at least talking about customer service, and they were able to send me a replacement so I can finish the test. But I did come up with a potential issue, is that they asked me for my order number, which I did not have because they sent me the marketing department sent me a sample. And so I had to go back to because I wanted to test to see if they, how they actually dealt with customers in a real way. I don't usually go through the marketing person because, of course they're gonna handhold everything if there's a problem if they're dealing with an influencer, because they don't want their product to look bad. So if there's ever a problem, or even I'll even fake a problem to go through the customer service just to see how they react when I test out products. Because if they don't ever, some companies, if they don't respond to me at all, I'll point that out, that they have terrible customer service. So they actually had good customer service, but one of their policies is that you have to show that you've have a receipt,
right?
Because I think I suspect, and I don't quote me on this, because but my suspicion is there's a lot of counterfeit models of this, and I've seen because I see on Amazon.
It looks great, but it doesn't look super unique. You know what I mean? Like,
really, because I thought this was I don't see a lot of EDC flashlights.
Well, the small form factor with the 180-degree light, is that x-axis or y-axis? Up and over or around and around?
Up and over.
Okay, so yeah. So it's like a lot of different lights that have been around for I don't know 15 years or so. That are small form factor, clip on, even molly straps, things like that. Yeah, I mean, yes, the look is, I guess, unique, but the idea of a small form factor, palm-sized, light, it's nothing new.
True. Absolutely. The thing about the reason why I highly suspect that it's a counterfeit concern is because when I went to Amazon to look up the price, I could see products that were exactly like this but didn't have any graphics on them for sale for like $4 or $5 less. So obviously there's a supply of either counterfeit, or who knows from where they're coming from. You can get it's the same issue with like Trijicon RMRs and things like that. Like, okay, so how is this $300 red dot being sold for $39? Because it's not really a
'Cause it's not
Trigicon
real.
RMR.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the oh, Paris says that he's able to get on. So let me
Oh,
add him
great.
on here. Oh, hold on a second. 7. Okay. Para, are you there? Okay. So, okay, maybe he's
It's
not
lunch.
there. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll keep him on here. If he chimes in and we can hear him, great. Otherwise,
Awesome.
I'll hopefully look for him on the side chat. And well, let's move on to the next video that oh, yeah, a little bit of lulls here. So I was just I was simping for this brand over the Christmas break because I love these chocolate covered um, almonds and all these
Okay.
like Asian flavors from this company in Southern California that makes it called Pockets Chocolate, and they were up here at Costco, at a local Costco, about an hour away from me. And I went down there because they were offering these new flavors that I haven't tried out, and a good deal because it's Costco. And it turns out that 2 of the founders were there at the Costco. So I got to meet them. It was great. And I even
Very
posted
cool.
a quick video of me meeting them. And I literally, I said, yeah, I want to buy a case of your chocolates. So, so I brought some home and for fun, I did a video, and I just thought, okay, how would I do this? How would it look like if I was like one of those typical, TikTok influencers or whatever, or Instagram influencers? So this is what I came up with if I was simping for their chocolates. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Moondog here, and no cap, I want to share with you my newest favorite snacks. These are Pockets chocolates. These are oat milk chocolate covered almonds, and no cap, they are delicious. This is my all-time favorite flavor. This is matcha, a Japanese green tea, but they also have yuzu, which is Japanese lemon, super crisp. They have ube, which is my newest favorite flavor. They have black sesame. They have, check this out, Vietnamese coffee. All of these flavors are so fire, and this is their newest product. They have chocolate covered pistachios. So yeah, they have Dubai chocolate flavor now in both dark and milk chocolate, and also ube. And they are super healthy because they have no artificial colors, no artificial ingredients. They are low in carbs, high in protein, so they are keto friendly. Trust, these are delicious. Check them out on my website and hit that like and subscribe button. So, Tim says, I need more random zooming. Yeah, I think you're right. And hopefully you caught the fact that I was adding the sort of obligatory RGB lighting to my background, which I don't want to rag on anybody who does that, because it's a great way to add production value without, actually building a set. So yeah,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
yeah, totally get it. But yeah, that's one of the things I consciously avoided doing on my channel because everybody else was doing it. So anyway, but that was, I honestly do love these chocolates. I'm like practically addicted to them because the matcha especially. I just went through 2 bags today. So yeah.
All right.
All right. So and I hopefully, if they see these videos, and if you see if you subscribe to my Moondog Go channel, please hit the like button and put an at or sorry, for the on the Instagram. If you're on Instagram, go to my on my site and tag them, because I'm hoping to get more showing that there's a lot more interest of me plugging them. So
Well, did you
hopefully
get
they'll.
the case?
Hmm?
Did you get the case?
I bought the case, so I
Oh,
paid for
good.
the
All right.
case.
As long as
Yeah.
you got the case. All right.
Yes. But I would love for them to be a sponsor of the show, just like, Mad Hat. And so I would love to offer bags, even the smaller bags, the sampler bags of theirs, if they'd send it to me. So hopefully it gets a little more attention from them, and they'll join up as at least as a prize sponsor. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. Because if you see them at Costco, I think they might be on the West Coast or even a California thing specifically. So I know my cousin in New York, she said that she's never seen them at their
If
Costco there.
they make pocket size bags and they make it to the East Coast here, they'd be great pocket stuffers for bad blood and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Throw a couple bags of nuts in your pocket, and wow, that came out bad. Put a couple bags of those, and you got the sugar, you got the caffeine, you got the salty nuts for some water retention. It's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully they'll maybe we'll see if they join up for that. But I'm hoping that they see a few more of the videos that I posted up. I've tagged them myself, but it always helps when other people tag them. Anyway, let's move on. This is one of the videos that I would like to get you guys' thoughts on the side there. I'm going to be posting a review of the Bear Creek Arsenal 308, their AR-10. This is the full rifle. You can also get just the upper if you have an AR-10 lower. But the one they sent me was in 308. And actually, their upper that I reviewed this in 6.5 Creedmoor is one of my more popular videos, even though I had to repost it recently, but again, because of YouTube demonetizing the original one. But there's a lot of interest in it. And there's also a lot of hate because apparently Bear Creek Arsenal, because they're cheap they don't do as much QC. And I'm from you can see my video of the 6.5. It is not the smoothest action in the world. But so and so you'll see my review, my really honest review of their AR-10 platform here. So if you guys have any thoughts as to a good headline for that, post it on the side chat right now. Of course, Budget Bolt 308 is what I'm going with for one of the thumbnails, and I've got the ability to add 2 more options in the testing process that YouTube has built in. They allow you to do A/B/C testing now, which means that you can put up alternate versions of the thumbnail, and it will randomly show the people who are getting suggested the video one of those 3. And based on the click-throughs, obviously the one that gets the most click-throughs will show up, and eventually that becomes the official or the standard thumbnail that gets shown. So if you guys have any other thoughts, post them, share your thoughts on the side chat or also in the comments. This is for the Bear Creek Arsenal 308, and like I said, a lot of people, because they've had bad experiences with Bear Creek Arsenal, and a lot of people posted rather negative comments on Bear Creek, but also a lot of people thought they're great because they are very affordable for their AR parts. So a lot of people who haven't had any problem with it and are also understand that if you're getting something on the cheaper end of mil spec, then obviously there's going to be some corners cut so somewhere, and usually it's in the QC department. So anyway, here's a headline from Porsche Speedster, Bolt 308 and an AR chassis. So yeah, that's a usable headline, and thanks for that. And if you have anybody else have a thought, post it on the side chat. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so here's the next clue in the name of the brand. This U.S. oil gas company is the only U.S. petroleum company that is currently in operation in Venezuela. So there is just one U.S. company that currently has a I don't know if you consider it a license or they're sanctioned, or at least allowed by the U.S. government to have operations.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah, for now. So
for now,
we'll see how that goes. But and I saw in the news, I don't know if it was posted up by the Times or some other organization, that back in December, the Trump administration had brought in all of the representatives of the U.S. Oil and gas companies, Exxon and Phillips and everybody else, and asked them, hey, if things stabilize with with Venezuela, would you go in and because basically Venezuela took over, nationalized their oil and gas, so
Right.
they took all of the assets of all these companies, and either kicked them out or they left at that point. So
It's probably a
the only
combination of both.
yeah, combination of both. So the administration said, "Would you go back to Venezuela?" And at the time, apparently, all of them said no. Of course, that's assuming that they nobody knew that the Delta Force was going to come in and nab Maduro and everything
Right.
else. So yeah, um, now the situation's different. So I'm sure they may. I'm guessing they probably have a different answer. At least maybe would be maybe their answer, possibly, depending on what the situation is. But it's certainly a different situation than when it was in December. Anyway, that's the reason why I picked this particular oil and gas company as the mystery brand today, just because I came across that sort of interesting tidbit that they were the only U.S. Oil company that was in there. Oh, here's a comment from Tim. Oil companies are reluctant to set up down there. The U.S. citizens might be uh, paying
Footing the bill.
footing. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and of course it all depends on how stable the any country is. Nobody wants to send their invest money in building or uh, rebuilding, really, any multi-million dollar infrastructure if they can't count on that government, or any safety issues. I remember when I used to work on mobile fuels, and one of their biggest um, foreign assets were in Nigeria, and I was working on a project that focused on the corporate side. So it was a business to business ad, and the at the time they were saying that um, they were they needed to do some more photography of the new refineries in Nigeria, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, send me down there." And in my all of when I was a youngster at that point, so I didn't know much about Nigeria, and all of my account executives in there just like looked at me like, "No, you don't want to go there." Like, really? Why? And said, and yeah, they said basically, as soon as you land, you have to pay bribes just to get off the plane. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was a little rougher than you'd want. Well, and I'm not saying that's the way it is now, because that was 30 years ago when I was working on that project. But yeah, in any company that goes into a foreign country to work, they want to also have the people who they send there to work be safe. So yeah, there's a lot of things that need to
Yeah,
get.
there's too many guarantees that need to be in place to make it feasible and economical.
Sure, absolutely. But it certainly is a different situation. Certainly, things are a little bit different than they were in December. So,
Yeah.
uh, very unexpected way.
But
So,
this particular company down there is already established. They've
yeah,
got control of what it is they're doing. So of the other US companies wanting to now do business with them, well,
they'd have to start from ground
n-
zero,
you
basically.
know,
Yeah,
holding company has all the cards.
yeah,
So it's going to be tough for anybody to really get any kind of traction in there because they've got it all. And they
hmm
can now call the shots, they can call the price, they can do whatever they want.
So yeah, a lot of this is still a developing stories, as they
Oh
say,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Anyway, let's. I would love to do a deep dive on. Yeah, but I want to get somebody a little more knowledgeable about the oil and gas industry before I start talking about it. I mean, I just found it fascinating. But anyway, so let's talk about the subject we do know about, and that is SHOT Show. So, for those of you who might have seen one of the episodes from last year, Ian was one of my crew, and here's some of the crew. There's actually two more members,
Mhm.
or three more members of my crew there, but those are Ian's there on the right, and we got Scooty there in the center, and Vendetta or Giselle on the floor there, and that is the Bear Creek Arsenal booth, by the way.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we got to meet them, and that's when the first time I got to see that bolt action upper over there, and I thought that was really kind of was really cool. And they had that crazy giant pistol model on
Yeah, it was fun.
display. So Ian got to join me as essentially my second camera
Right.
for a lot of and also helping with sound when Giselle wasn't available to do the sound. And the this was last year was your second year. So tell the folks about how your first year went.
Well, this will be my second year.
Oh, sorry, your first. Yeah.
Honestly, it was great. It was a great experience, and I'm so excited to be going back. My problem was I'm a fat ass who was not in shape and was not ready for the physical toll that walking around a bunch of hotel expo floors was actually going to do on me. My mind is thinking, oh, we're fine. We're just walking around. It's going to be leisurely. We're doing this, that, and the other thing. And it was until it wasn't. And I actually ended up tearing my own hamstring walking an expo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and it's no joke, folks. Is we literally clocked anywhere between 7 to 10 miles a day in walking. Because I checked it on my smartwatch. Yeah, because it's two large expo centers that are connected to each other. So sometimes we'd have to go and we can go. We'll go through some of the calendar. But a lot of times, as soon as we finished one booth, I had an appointment to go meet another brand, and almost at no time were they anywhere near each other.
Yeah.
So we would
and
have to.
It's a multi-layered venue, and it's 100% worth it. And like I said, I'm so excited to be going back, but I'm better prepared now, so everything will be fine. But it's tough. It's not the leisurely, walking around a con kind of thing. It's work.
I mean, yeah, it's because with my crew, it's work. We don't because a lot of times, the first year that I went, it was a little more of wandering around. Hey, that's interesting. Let's go there, because I didn't have the contacts with the brands. But now, and with the brands, the contacts that I do have, I reach out to them, and then they want to have a specific time that they want to talk to me. So I have to sort of work through all of these schedules. And it is Ian just saw the sheet, and he was
there's a lot of planning that goes into it. I'd read on one of their mailers that NSSF put out a couple weeks ago or so, reminding people that if you haven't gotten in your requests for interviews yet, you're kind of SOL. So like, it's not, you can't just show up at a booth and say, hey, can I interview you and showcase your product? If you're not on their calendar, you're not getting FaceTime with anybody.
It depends on it depends on how big the brand is. Some of the
okay, fine. The big brands with the gigantic floor spaces and we're not getting into those, and that's okay, because that's not what you want to showcase. So, you're not there to do Smith and Wesson interviews. So we didn't count. We focused on the smaller optics vendors and stuff, and it was great. I got to see stuff that I'm not a shooter the way you guys are, so it's not really part of my world. I'm there just to see it and learn, and I had no idea what I was looking at. But it was fun, and I saw some really, really great stuff that I still tell people about today. Can't remember the name of the one vendor down in the basement with the what's it called? The not heat. Anyway, it was an optic that did
the thermal yeah.
It's
heat. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, I still tell people about the clarity of these thermal optics, from inside of a basement of a hotel. And it was amazing. So I was having a great time.
Well, it's not that I would love to do interviews with like some of the big gun brands,
Oh yeah,
and we've in previous times we stopped and talked to folks over at H&K, and at FN and a couple of other places, but I don't spend a lot of time there because I know that they won't be sending me a rifle
oh
anytime soon to
sure,
test.
yeah,
So it's just like, oh, it's nice to to talk to them, but I'm not. It's not going to be something that eventually will lead to something that
yeah.
I'll
But
have on my channel.
the smaller up and comings, might the night forces and stuff like that. You never know what you're going to get. Building those relationships with the up and comers is just as important as getting known by you know the big guys.
Yeah,
I guess
true,
we'll call 'em.
true. And some of the smaller new brands, especially the ones downstairs in the basement, they're hungry to talk to people, especially in the media or influencers or YouTubers or whatever, because that they don't have the budget to promote themselves.
Yeah,
So they definitely want to see people, and oftentimes they don't have a full you know Rolodex or calendar of interviews,
yeah,
whereas some of the bigger booths, even like PSA and Palmetto State Armory, they break it down to half hour or even 10-minute increments, because they just get hit by with media and other folks, back to back. And I think I posted up a video from the booth visit back in January, last January, with Palmetto State Armory, and a couple of people were commenting about how Justin, who was the guy I was talking to at the booth, just was kind of looked pissed off, and I had to respond back that he wasn't so much pissed off as he was exhausted after, because I think I
yeah,
posted that on Friday or Thursday, and after speaking to who knows how many hundreds of people, um you're just done by end of day Thursday, and wrap up day Friday, and then for the folks who work the booths, oh great, we have to tear down the booths now and pack up everything to go, so their job
yeah,
isn't even done yet. Yeah,
yeah.
so
But I
yeah.
mean, the thing of those, I got called out, and you're absolutely right. Night Force is not a small company, but you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
my point was made. The talking to the smaller, not the name brands everybody's known forever is worth it. Where was I going with this?
Well,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that
there's so many.
folding pistol company
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's so many different things to see at this event, and so many different things that you can even if for us optics is what we do, but like it's there's it's fun to look at stuff that we might not even care about because it looks fun and it looks great. It's like, hey, this is a really great take on a 300-year-old idea, and it's fun to just look at it and talk to these people because they, as much as it's busy for them, they want to break it down into 15-minute increments. They love talking to us. That's just it. Like, there isn't a single booth you can walk to at this event that isn't going to give you the time of day. They might ask you to wait, but they're going to talk to you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the what makes it so great is just a nobody like me can walk up to one of these big name booths, and if I ask nicely and I'm willing to wait, they're going to talk to me.
Mhm.
And I like that. That's going to maybe make me, if I do, get out of the hellscape of New York City, and can get into a more competitive real steel shooting, as we call it in the airsoft world. Maybe I'm going to look at them as my first choice because they gave me the time of day
Yeah.
and they're willing to work with me and explain to me what it is they do and why they do it better than the guy next to them. I like that.
So to answer Tim's question, is the Basement and Shot Show their version of the kids table of Thanksgiving? Kinda, but it also has the most number of just companies down there. So you'll
Yeah.
find some major companies down there. It's I should have somebody from one of the brands to confirm this, but my understanding is like the big all the big brands are at the second floor of the Venetian. So those are, those are your Berettas and
Yeah.
your Leupold, Smith and Wesson, um, and so those are the most expensive booths at the second floor. But
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's really what it breaks down to. It's not that the people in the basement, or as our crew likes to call it, the dungeon, which I love, um, it's not that they're any lesser than anybody else. It's just these are the floor space that they could afford at this
Mhm.
time, and there's nothing wrong with that because there's still plenty of foot traffic down there. There's still plenty of big names down there. Just you're not going to be next to the Smith and Wesson booth, which takes up like half the floor space of the Venetian. It's crazy,
Yeah,
but
let me see if I can bring this up over here. So here's the Venetian, actually the first floor, the ground floor, and we call
yeah,
it the dungeon or the basement because
basement, yeah.
yeah, because
There's still plenty of floor space and some really, really great products down there.
yeah, and if I don't know if you could see it to any degree, but all those little tiny lines are like 10 by 10 booths.
Right.
So they're just hundreds of them, and that the lower section that you see there that it's in the bluish gray. Those are the main commercial brands, and then the orange booths to the upper right part. Those are law enforcement specific brands. Sometimes there's overlap because they'll have booths in both locations, but
Right.
there's and this is also the floor where if you come in to register, and if you haven't gotten your badges elsewhere, this is the sort of the main registration floor. But
Yeah.
downstairs we've got. Let me just look through some of
Well,
the brands.
the basement floor is also a great floor for the up and comings and the people who can't maybe
Hmm.
afford these multi-million dollar spaces because that's where the new product center is.
Yes,
So
yeah,
anybody who's anybody is going through that new product center, and then they're going to enter the expo at the ground floor. So you're going to be the first to be seen anyway. So it's,
yes.
it's it's not that it's a bad space because oh we're in the basement we can't be up on the second floor with Smith and Wesson and Glock. So what? You're still in really great company down there.
The Now from a production standpoint, it is not a great. Well, it's never a great space in terms of acoustics. But the acoustics are even worse down there because the ceiling is lower, so you're getting so much more echoing and reverb. It's always a challenge down there to record any of the booth interviews. Uh, but let me just do a quick rundown of some of the brands that are down there. We've got that we'll be visiting on the first floor: Monstrum, Discovery Optics, Vector Optics, and as you said, the new product showcase is down there. And I'll also be visiting, let's see, Nightcore flashlights, Claris, Texas Precision Optics, Athlon Optics, Osight, and also Ely Ammo is down there. So yeah, there's some actually bigger brands in the firearms market that are down there. Part of it is because it's just more cost effective to be down there, and or they've been there so long everybody just knows where they are, so they don't feel like a need to go spend the extra money to be on the second floor, because at least everybody knows where they are, and it is kind of sometimes difficult to find where a brand is. Like if I've had a couple of cases where a brand
I
has
don't
moved to
know.
a
I
different place, and
I
it's then
actually I actually found that the basement was actually easier to navigate because with the ceiling being a little bit lower, they actually hung directional signs
oh
from the
yeah, yeah,
floor.
yeah, that's the other thing, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
it was easier for us to meet up with everybody, and we just it was more like reading a map, honest for me, and it was like it was honestly much easier to get around. Is Osite doing two booths? Because
3 booths now.
3 booths now. Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
so they've got the Osight booth, Olight bigger booth, and then they've spun out. I'm forgetting now. I did a video of their new product. It's a charging station. I think it's O Station is the yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is. So they've got there's a standalone rechargeable double and triple A charging device. So you just load up your batteries, and it you know motorized grabs the depleted batteries and then brings it in and then spits out, after it's fully charged, the fully charged battery. So for those of you who work in a space where you have to, a ton of recharge, you need to recharge those AA or AAA lipo or lithium or NIMH batteries, then
That'll be
there you
cool.
go.
All
Yeah.
right. Cool. All
Mhm.
right. Because I remember, when we saw I guess it was Light we saw last year.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were main floor, and it was great. So they've got the money, they've got the clout to post up in 3 different spots. Good for them.
Yeah. So, and then we're talking about the second floor, which is the big name brands, but also very much taller ceiling in that space.
Yeah,
As you're saying,
that's your full on proper expo center. Like
Mhm.
that's craziness.
So if you see here, the booths are much bigger. So yeah, who knows? It could probably does cost $1 million for Smith and Wesson or FN to get those 100 by 100 square booths.
Yeah.
And you can see there on the top right, there's even more law enforcement specific brands and military and law enforcement in the tan zones on the top right. And then if you look at the bottom left, it says bridge to Caesars Forum, because there's literally, they add a bridge, a walkway to go into Caesars Forum, which is a whole nother expo center a block away. And you don't get this sense of it, but it is almost the same size.
That's where Bear Creek was.
Yeah, Bear Creek's there, Ruger's there. So to getting back to, I think it was Tim was saying, is that the kitty table? You could argue that a lot of smaller brands also are in Caesars Forum. It's a little bit more open space and taller ceilings. They're also in the lower section there that in brown, those are outdoor and archery brands. So there's more companies out there who are like selling blinds and kayak equipment and things like that. And they also started putting container trucks for some brands. There's indoor shooting ranges or temporary shooting ranges. That's where they have the demo range over there. That's where I got to shoot the spin-off brand from Arkin, their Outlier barrel and upper brand, and they had those suppressed AR9s. I got to shoot it inside of one of those converted container trucks that was basically a mini indoor range, and it was in that demo range area. So
I missed that.
Yeah, you got to come. I think you needed to take a break.
Yeah, I needed a break. Yeah. But I'm in shape. Don't worry, I got this. Yeah. So.
And hopefully you got new inserts on your shoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's hopefully that gives you a sense of. And when I gave that rundown, that was just for the lower section. So yeah, we've got a whole days of visits with various brands in all 3 sections of. Actually, there's 4 sections. There's a whole supplier showcase on the 5th floor, which I'm going to try to. I've carved out time on our first day on Tuesday to go visit there, because that's
we need a special invitation for that.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay, great.
Not for the supplier showcase floor, but we definitely need to go. I don't know who's up there, or I mean, I could look it up, but I didn't. That one is a time where we're just going to go explore, and that's where we found that brand Tactical Snacks.
Okay.
Yeah, that had those low sugar gummies. So they were up there.
Okay, right.
But we have to go there early. I think that's the thing, is that they're actually they open the supplier showcase a day before SHOT Show officially opens. So they're actually open on the Monday, and then they actually close on Tuesday. So I think the last year I made the mistake of showing up at the end of the day on Tuesday.
And it was closed.
And everybody was tearing down. So a lot of the brands had already left, and close their booths. So that's why I want to try to go up there before lunchtime and see what's up there.
All
So
right. Yeah,
yeah.
sounds great.
All right. So that gives you a brief rundown of our plans. Any final other thoughts about SHOT Show, or what would you'd like to accomplish?
Um, no, I mean, last year I had ideas of what I wanted to see and what I thought would be fun, but then I realized that's not why I'm there. You know, to me, I'm there to work it and to kind of just see these things that I don't really have anybody I want to see specifically. I kind of
Other
just like
than
to
Evic.
well, yeah, other than Evic, yeah,
Yeah.
because I wanna have that conversation just for a minute. But yeah, I mean, like I liked the idea of getting lost in the expo, which I did a couple times,
Yeah.
and just finding random stuff like, why is this here? Like when I found the guys with the heavy machine guns,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
an M2 and a Dushka. I was like, why is this here? I love it. So, but yeah, so I just and like we randomly found the Lucas Oil booth,
Yes.
and we're all like, wait, they do firearm oil? And we spent what, a half an hour there? It was
Yeah,
great.
just
You know?
talking to them and about different lubricants and everything. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Zippo was there one year. I don't think they're there this year, or they were
Weird.
there last year. Yeah. So
I will say I'm kind of hoping it's there again because I want to get pictures because I've told people about it. But I can't remember if it was Realtree who had
yeah,
an
they were there.
entire hunting cabin built inside the showroom.
Yeah.
I got to get pictures of that. That was just awesome because the random stuff you're not going to see, you wouldn't expect to see at a, like, let's just call it a gun show.
Yeah.
There's a hunting cabin in the middle of the floor in Las Vegas. What is happening here? But it was awesome. I can't wait.
Awesome. All right. So here's one. Unfortunately, you're not in this photo.
I think this was Friday, and
Yeah,
I had left early.
that's right. And so that was our last day for the rest of the crew, and the one member, our newest member, which is my daughter Marcella, was there. She was our intern. So she actually held the fort in that is the one of the ballrooms over at the Venetian, but they convert that into the media center. So those who are there for the media, we get access to that floor, and there's sections there where you can sit down, charge up your laptops, write your stories or whatever, and or print out your articles and proofread them or whatever. So she held the fort, and we were able to leave some of our stuff to charge. And she was just happy just sitting there doing her homework. So that was great. So she's
It's
going to be joining
great,
us again
great
this year.
space. The organization really does take good care of the media, which was really nice. And it's not like we were second class citizens.
No.
We were actually treated really, really well, and that's one of the reasons I think it's worth it for guys like us, because by treated well, we're going to come back, and we're going
Yeah.
to keep going back as long as we're treated well. And it was, it's a good organization. It's a good event.
And hopefully she's going to be doing a more editing for me, and maybe even music for some of my videos. So we'll see how that. She's definitely going to be. I'm going to be recruiting her to do a little bit more work on the channel this year.
Great.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap things up. We've got some contests, and I'm going to give you guys the final clue to the mystery brand here. For those of you who want to enter the contest, just put in a hashtag and the correct answer on the side, and the software will automatically enter you into the drawing. So here's the clue. This U.S. oil gas company was a direct descendant of Standard Oil and was founded in 1870 in California, of all, actually. In Southern California, I didn't know this, in Los Angeles. They were founded in 1870. So for those of you who'd seen the movie There Will Be Blood, it's actually based on real events, or at least the sort of the real what was happening in Southern California during the turn of the century, because the reason why one of the reasons why California is such a car state in car culture is because they discovered oil here, and this was one of the biggest oil producing states after Pennsylvania at the time, and before they discovered oil in Texas, California was the big oil producing state. And there's still oil wells here. It's just that they pretty much grabbed most of the easy to get oil, but there's still some working wells here. But they hide them anyway. So
isn't there a well in a McDonald's parking lot in LA?
Probably, yeah, and there's a couple of wells near the airport, but the way that they've landscaped it, you don't see the actual wells when you fly in. But yeah, there's still working wells in Los Angeles. That's the reason why there's a La Brea tar pits there, is because all of this petroleum literally
that makes sense.
comes out of the ground
together.
So this petroleum company is the only oil and gas company that is still on the Dow Jones Industrial Average after ExxonMobil got dropped for I don't know what reasons. I think it has. I don't know what the criteria is for Dow Jones to include
I wonder.
So I think it has to do. It's something about share price, and so if it goes below a certain number or whatever,
you can get dropped if you hit a certain a certain level. Yeah, but I didn't think Exxon would ever drop that low that they would get dropped by the.
No, as far as I know, they're still the biggest oil and gas company in the U.S. or something. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I didn't know this until I was doing this research that ExxonMobil is not part of the Dow Jones Industrial Average.
Interesting.
So yeah. Anyway,
well, they just might not be public.
No, they are.
Oh, they are. Okay, yeah. That's even weirder then.
Yeah.
All right.
So. Okay, so there's your clue. You can put it in the side chat, and we'll do the drawing at the very tail end, and I'll have Ian pick it. But I just wanted to let you guys know that on my website, and I'll include here. Let me bring up the QR code for you here. If you use that QR code, or just go to moondogindustries.com/contest, and I'll just put that in the side chat right now. Cut and paste that. There's two contests. Again, was able to get two different. There was video. I forgot about that. And I think that's part of Apple, the Apple camera. But I've got two different companies that were sponsored a contest this month. One of them is AccuVista. It's a new LPVO company, and I've reviewed there. So they're offering one of their Surge LPVOs. It's a 1-to-10. First focal plane, and you could win one. And I've just posted up a link so go to moondogindustries.com/contest. This is one of the items you could enter to win. And the other one is an O-Site C, which we talked about earlier in the episode. So you could win either or both if you're lucky. And we'll do the random drawing. The contest, you can enter the drawing up until the end of this month. And we'll be doing the drawing at the beginning of next month. So you have two chances to win, either this red dot or pistol red dot, or you can use it really on anything. This red dot or the LPVO. So yeah, there's two chances to win. And of course, I also want to plug the fundraiser that I have on my website for the trip that my son's going to with his class to DC. So I've got a couple of items that are on sale. There are some of the review samples of, in this case, this is the Hilux PRS 5-25, really nice scope, by the way. I think it retails for like $799 or something like that. And so I've got it up there for less than $300. So yeah, if you want to donate that amount of money, you will get this to the fundraiser. I will send you that scope. So that's how that works. Go check out moondogindustries.com/yard sale for details about that. And here's your opportunity. We're going to do the drawing first for this 200 lumen work light that was 2000 lumen work light from Hotlie. And I actually tested, it's actually closer to 3000 lumens. So yeah, it's pretty bright. So I'm going to bring up here, let me stop the share screen and share another screen for the Wheel of Names. All right, so Here's our wheel of names. All right, I'm going to ask you, Ian.
Count it
Give me
down.
a quick count it down.
All right, 3, 2, 1, spin.
Lee, congratulations.
Very nice.
All right, that is Porsche Speedster on the side there. So congratulations. I have your mail to information because that's part of to enter. You have to give me that information, and so I want to thank Hotline for sponsoring that prize, and Hotline will be sending you your flashlight. All right, so I'll be drawing the winner of the LPVO that was also one of the prizes from last month next week. So for those of you who entered the LPVO contest, tune in next week for that. But let's finish up with the contest for today. Let me bring up that contest window and share screen, giveaway tool. There we go. And okay. So we only had 3 correct answers. A couple of you out there listed Citgo, but Citgo is not a US based company. At least their headquarters aren't US apparently. So that's the reason why the software did not pick up your answer. So I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to put that in if you didn't put the correct one. And all right, Ian, do you want to give us a countdown?
Yep. All right. So we got 5 entries. Great. 3, 2, 1, draw. I'll be honest, I thought it was Citgo as well.
And I think what Valero is actually a Venezuelan company. Okay, they're double winner. Porsche Speedster. Yeah. So Porsche Speedster, you get the beef jerky, but because of SHOT Show, I'm going to add 2 more bonus prizes here. I'm going to send you guys some extra patches that I have left over from this year's SHOT Show. So let me just screenshot that. Okay. Ian, give me a countdown and we're going to draw again for the for the extra patches.
3, 2, 1, draw.
Okay, Paulie Hot Dog.
All right, great.
So, Paulie, I don't think I've seen you on the side chat before, but just so you know, since you won, what I want you to do is send me an email, and I'm gonna post it up here. Send it to contest@moondogindustries.com, and just let me know in the subject line, put #Chevron so I know it's for that contest, and send me your contact information and mail to information for the patches. So put the address. You can I can send it to you, or any friend of yours that you want me to send patches to who might appreciate patches. You can do that too, and I will mail you the patches for that. And we'll do one more prize. Let me just make sure I got a screenshot of this for Paulie Hot Dogs. And all right, give it one more countdown and I will draw again.
3, 2, 1.
Sir Charles. Okay.
Perfect. All right.
I think also, Sir Charles, you might be one of our newer participants on the side chat. So thanks for joining me as well. Hey, new and a winner. So make sure that you send me an email at contest@moondogindustries.com with your the information to mail your patches, and I'll be sending that out this week. So everybody, thanks for joining Ian and me, and thanks Ian for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Be sure to hit that like button before I wrap up the show. and I really appreciate everybody joining us for this show about SHOT Show. And if you guys have any specific places you want us to visit, please post it up in the comment section of the side chat. And if we can, we'll try to squeeze that into an already pretty packed schedule. But
we can do it.
Yeah, but we'll definitely do it. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody who won, and make sure you send me an email so I know where to send your stuff. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. You be safe out there. God bless. Moondog and Ian out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.